Hello, it's Scott Manley here with part 2 of Elite Dangerous Alpha Phase 1.0 combat test, because that's what it says in the top left. I'm going back to this mission where there were 4 adversaries, and I'm going to actually try winning it this time, but this time I'm going to attempt to use the power of Newtonian flight models, which means basically that I'm going to slide around and you can already see everything going sideways. And I am killing these guys very quickly. Oh dear, I'm getting hit rather hard as well. No, but my shields are holding. Where is that target? We want to wipe him out of the sky while I have the chance. Yes! Watching his hull evaporate. And yeah, I've automatically, through instinct, fallen into the most obvious tactic, which is flying backwards and keeping my weapons pointed at the hostiles while trying to shoot them. Now, you do not need the Newtonian flight model to do this. You can actually just fly backwards at full speed and the thing will do that for you. Which kind of begs the question of why you would want to do this when you can just fly backwards all the time and shoot things. Obviously, this is being made a lot harder because of that weird behaviour that tends to build up rotations and doesn't suppress them and gives me no actual way of stopping the rotation because there's no actual roll thing assigned on the control pad in this configuration. Regardless, I mean, you know, it's kind of fun trying to stop this thing, stop this rotation. I'm sure I can beat these guys. That's 2 down, 1 to go. 2 down, 2 to go. I expect that will be 3 down, 1 to go soon enough. Not really using my missiles, although I could be using them. It seems to take a really long time to lock them, and when he is spinning in and out of my sights... Oh, I think I slowed down the rotation just a little. God, this is probably making you all seasick. I don't have any trouble with this, but maybe some of you guys get motion sickness, and this would be a nice bug to fix, or a nice behavior to figure out how to suppress. I think what we need is rotation suppression and translation suppression being computer controlled, and so you can switch one or both of them off if you so desire. Okay, come on. That's it. Now we're down to 1 more. And I don't expect he will last long given how good his friends have fared against me. They're probably wondering what I'm doing spinning around there, but obviously they're wondering that while getting blown out of the sky. So they must be thinking it's a pretty cool tactic or something. Or, I don't know. Maybe they're just... I don't know. I don't know why they're flying towards me when I've got guns pointed at them and I can shoot them out of the sky. They're like sliding around this dude. This should be a little easier. Oh, he's dead already. Yes! Victory! 1 contact destroyed. Tangling with the Federation seems to be less hazardous and more lucrative than you had been led to believe. Keeping in with Mistopolis is definitely paying off. And, okay, regarding the first video, there's been a lot of comments I've seen on that video that I should perhaps address. And one is, somebody said, oh, I wish you could be the good guy. Well, you can be the good guy. You can follow whatever side you like. It's just, this is a set of missions. Mistopolis has been having trouble with a persistent pirate. In the Misfortune, he has taken out one of their patrol ships. They are sending 2 of you in a contract to get him. Work with your wingman to destroy the Misfortune. And maybe it's just bad luck or misfortune, but I can't figure out how to actually send any commands to my wingman. Maybe it's not available in this version, but I tried this mission a few times and I couldn't figure it out, and I never was bothered to actually go in and... Whoa, yeah, missile coming in. Oh, but there's a nice big asteroid in the way. If I put that asteroid between me and him, then that should serve as an effective shield. Yeah, I don't know how to send commands to the wingman, so I pretty much just done all the missions with the wingmen by more or less shooting the targets in question. And there we go. Oh, that's the missile. Oh, totally missed me. Okay, now to kill him. Whoa. Lay the lead into him. Oh, it's a Cobra Mark III. Yes, Cobra Mark III is, of course, the original spacecraft you would fly in the original Elite, and main hallmark of the Cobra Mark III being that it was highly configurable and you could attach anything to it. You could even attach a widget which would give it a larger cargo bay. Don't ask me how that works. You had what were the options in the original Elite? You could have things like you could have up to 4 different lasers, and they would each fire out different directions. You had pulse lasers, beam lasers, military lasers, and of course mining lasers. Except in some versions, the mining lasers were more efficient than the military lasers because they did way more damage. In addition to being able to mine asteroids, kind of was pointless. You could have up to 4 missiles on your ship. You could have an extra energy cell, escape pods, energy bombs, which would, you know, zap everything on your radar and everything nearby. There was what else was there? Oh, ECM systems would destroy missiles in flight. You would just fire up your ECM, and if there was a missile in flight, it would destroy them all. And of course, bad guys would sometimes have the ECMs fitted. This guy's always there. 85% health. Now he is going down. I just need to track the guns on him. I'm not sure that's a lead indicator, because that doesn't seem to be very effective, shooting at that lead indicator. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what this site is telling me, because I'm putting my bullets on that lead indicator and it doesn't appear to actually be helping me. Time to use the boost to get back in close. He's coming towards me. Of course, that's the best tactic for someone that has... Oh, wait, my guns are reloading. Thank you. Okay, they're a little more damage. A tiny bit more damage. My friend is still here, but he doesn't seem to be helping me very much. It looks to me as if I am doing all of this. I'll be sure to tell the boss. After all, we are getting paid as mercenaries, and I expect that if you're not pulling your weight, then you will not be pulling a paycheck. There we go. Hitting some real damage into him. Beautiful. Whoa. Cobra Mark III. I spent so many hours in a Cobra Mark III. You had to get something like 2,000 kills to actually get to elite status. And that was pretty darn grindy, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was only 1,000 kills, but it did seem like a really long time to get that far. I mean, the game was called... Well, one of the implications of the name was that... Whoa! Yes. Was that as you shot things, your standing went up. You had a combat status, and it started out as harmless, and after you shot a couple of things, you were declared mostly harmless. And, eventually you would work your way up to becoming dangerous, deadly, and ultimately elite. The whole thing, the whole way Elite kind of formed, if you've watched, David Braben did this talk at GDC a couple of years ago, explaining the kind of genesis of Elite, and as well as going into all the technical details about how they managed to get the 3D graphics and stuff going on a very slow machine from the era. They actually talked about how they, started wanting to make a 3D space game, and how it ultimately turned into this trading game, because, they looked at games, and what you would do is you would do things and you would get points. Okay, sorry, with the destruction of the Misfortune, you have helped Mistopolis Mining keep its hold of the system and keep secret its immense wealth of precious metals. Yay, they promise even bigger stuff in return. Excellent. So, Predator and Prey. This is an interesting one. It seems a federal incursion is a more serious affair. Scouts and federal fighters have been dropped off in the system, and a local merc in a Cobra has been employed to look out for interference. Your contract is not worried about the merc. He is just paid to prevent any interference. He wants you to take out the federal fighters, avoid detection by running cold, using only low temperature weaponry to avoid any unnecessary heat signature, right? So it's destroy all the federal fighters, and you don't care about the Cobra Mark III, although you can destroy it if you want, right? But you'll see what we have. Different weapons generate different levels of heat. So, flickering signature indicates possible pattern match. Maneuver close to resolve a contract. Select the target area. So this is what they're saying, is at the edge of the 3D map, the targets flicker. And as they get closer in, you see that as they're flickering, and the colour changes, so you're not sure if they're red or green or whatever. Anyway, looking over here, we can actually get an idea of what is generating heat. We have the multi-cannon and we have the beam lasers, and I suspect that the multi-cannon is going to generate less heat than the beam laser. So let's try this out. Okay, so that is the Cobra Mark III. We want to avoid that. We want to go after the other things. Oh, that is my gun. Let's head out this way, and we don't want to generate too much heat, but I'm not sure actually how to measure that. Nevertheless, there we have got one of our contacts here. I'm going to sneak in close and kill this thing, hopefully under the cover of these asteroids. They will occlude me, they will hide my signature, and then my nefarious acts will not be discovered by their minder. Yes, there we go, dropping the Gatling gun into them. Doesn't look like they have any shields, therefore they don't have any chance against my multi-cannon. Yeah, so David Braben talked about how Ian Bell and how they started out developing the game, and they looked, most games you were basically getting points, and they thought, well, what's the point of points? So they said, well, why don't we have it that you get cash instead? Well, that's great. Okay, well, why can't you earn cash by other ways? So they came up with these ideas of like, hey, you know, you could mine, and you could carry cargo, you could trade, and yes, kill things. The whole idea being that there was different ways to actually make money within the game. And, well, that's great. So, you know, instead of score, you would have money. And with the money, you can, of course, spend that to upgrade your ship. And so, like, with those 4 basic concepts, hey, you know, you've invented most of the space trading genre, more or less. And it was really kind of logical decisions. If you watch the talk, it's like it's clear that it was kind of very, very natural for them to go through this. Okay, let's try and get this guy. I hope this Cobra doesn't notice me. This isn't a Cobra. This is a Federal fighter. I'm not sure what it is. Whether it's, it doesn't look like a Viper, and it doesn't look like an Asp. The Asp was supposedly the military ship in the. Or it was the most common military ship. Why is this guy? He's not turning. I'm trying to use my strafe controls, and that's what's adjusting my speed. Come on, there we go. More shooty. 41% hull. Nope, missed him. He's jinking all over the place. He is fearing my multi-cannon. Firing, cannoning multi-stuff into him. Where is he? It just seems to be that we're stuck in one of these loops as we both try to turn at the optimum rate and can't quite get a handle on each other. So I'm adjusting my strafe using the right stick to hopefully... Oh, there we go. Not good. Yes. I have you now. You have made one fit... No, okay, maybe not. Okay. Well, I thought I had you. You're pretty close to going down, though. 20% hull. You gotta admit, I have you. It's just a matter of time. And you ain't getting that away from me because you know what? I am a persistent mofo here. There we go. Come on. Yes! 0% hull. And he goes down. Eliminated all 3 targets? No problem, sir. Well done. It looks like the scouts reported nothing back, and the feds just log this as another hostile system. Yes, hostile because I'm here. Okay. The feds are still interested in this system. They're bringing supplies and more survey equipment. Little do they know the danger. You are here to ambush this group and prevent them from setting up. Boil the transport, big score, and bag yourself a fat paycheck. I have to say, if you're flying a big, juicy target called Big Score, I would not be comfortable. It's like, you know, having your call sign being dead meat or something, right? You just know that that's not good. Okay. I mean, truthfully, in any story, you can pretty much pick out who's doomed by the names sometimes, assuming that the person writing it is versed in classic literature and lore and whatnot. Okay, so this is a big ship that we're going to shoot down. It's the Anaconda, but what I'm going to try and do is kill the wingmen first. There's 4 wingmen. They are like these little Federation fighters. They don't appear to have much in the way of shielding, so they'll boil away pretty quickly. But if we get close to that Anaconda, it has big beam lasers and it will just slice through the sky. So you have to kind of use the maneuverability and get into its dead spot to take it down. This is taking too long. No. Come on. Yeah, almost. Almost.
And I'm taking damage from somewhere, I'm not sure what, and just keep on diverting power back and forth to try and keep my shield and weapons and everything all sustained. Okay, pick the next target. I'm pressing H. I think I heard the weapons from the Anaconda there. The Anaconda is a pretty big ship. In this mission, actually, if you're doing it, if you really are having trouble doing this mission, it's actually easier, I've found, to just kind of go in at the start when you're still passive, so before they've all turned red, and just slide in right at point blank range behind the Anaconda, and then just unload all your missiles and weapons into it as quickly as you can, and you'll probably be able to kill it before it can kill you, simply because you're sitting in its blind spot behind its engines, right? It can't hit you with most of its weapons if you sit right behind it. Of course, its friends will be able to hit you. Okay, there is that Anaconda, and it is a long way away. So pushing more power to the engines here, and yeah, beam lasers are out of range. I guess I could shoot those missiles, but I don't think those missiles are going to hit at this range either. Oh yeah, more power to the engines. That would be a good idea. Oh, dude, it looks like one of my wingmen was shot down. It's just me and him against this Anaconda. Anaconda! Okay, here we go. It's a big ship, and we're still like 1 kilometer out, and you can see the outline of this thing here. There we go. Slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. Just damaging all over the hull. Look at that. Ooh, shield damage effect. So I'm strafing behind him, trying to get into this dead zone behind his engines, because that's where I can do damage, hopefully without being hit by most of his weapons. Deliver this death with a degree of impunity that defies something or other beginning with D. Yay! Destruction! Well, that's the Federation threat dealt with. Next time we will have the last 2 missions. Until then, I am Scott Manley. Fly safe.